Hi everybody. Recently HAVIT, that's HAVIT, a company I had never heard of before, approached me and asked if I wanted to collaborate with them. After doing some research into who HAVIT is, a tech product company that's been around since 1998 that sells keyboards, mice, wireless headphones, smartwatches, and other gadgets, I said yes. I also researched to see what people thought of the quality of their products in terms of reviews by both users and publications. Most have been positive, and the general consensus is HAVIT products are cheap but not cheaply made. This is great as I'm always looking out for inexpensive but good products for the budget-minded PC builder. Of the many products HAVIT sells that have interested me the most are their keyboards. The peripherals market is a crowded one, with recognizable players in the game like Corsair, Razer, Logitech, Cooler Master, and others. I asked if they'd send me their KB500l keyboard. It's a 60% mechanical keyboard with RGB. They've agreed, and now I have it here today to share with you. Before I move on, let me state I have not been paid by HAVIT, although they did provide me with the keyboard free of charge. Additionally, they will not see this video in advance of it going live, nor will they have any input on the content. Welcome to the middle of nowhere. It may seem dumb, but I'm going to go over the box. After all, it is the first thing you see, and the first thing you might encounter if you were to see this product in a physical store. We're presented with a simple black box that greets and thanks you for choosing HAVIT in glossy text. I like the simplicity and the greeting. The thank you is also a nice touch. After all, you didn't have to buy their product. Another bonus, there's no plastic shrink wrap that will just immediately end up in the garbage. On one side of the box, it lets you know that it's the Game Note keyboard, which I'll assume is the model name as opposed to the model number. On the other side, there's a sticker that gives you all the specifics in clear, easy to read text. There are a few mistranslated words, but nothing that prevent you from understanding what is trying to be said. One thing to note, while the product description does say the switches are mechanical and brown, it doesn't say what kind of switches they are, such as Cherry MX or Gateron, for example. By contrast, this is detailed on HAVIT's website on the KB500l's product page, which is good. I also hope it will be stated in any manuals in the box if there are any. The reason you would want to know which switches are used is because with this keyboard you can swap them if you want, which is another reason I wanted to try the KB500l. The bottom of the box gives you the HAVIT website URL and tells you the keyboard is made in China. Alright, enough of going over the design elements of the box, let's see what's in it. Upon opening the box, you're greeted with the keyboard wrapped in a protective plastic sleeve. I'd rather have it be some kind of cornstarch-based foam or some other biodegradable packaging, but again, at least the box itself wasn't wrapped in plastic and there's no sticker. Underneath the keyboard, let's see what we get. You've got, looks like, a little manual. So it gives you a list of the function keys, standard mode settings, how to control the RGB. The RGB on this can be controlled via software as well as the keyboard directly. And some troubleshooting tips, QR code to get to HAVIT itself, mechanical gaming keyboard, some more specifications and instructions as well. Here's the backlight settings. And we'll go over the RGB in more detail later. The next little pamphlet you get looks to be in many languages. Looks like about social media stuff. So liking it, going to their website or whatever, and chatting about it. So spreading the word that is HAVIT. Right, underneath the keyboard, because you might have heard some rattling before. Oop. We have three things. We have our keycap puller as well as a switch puller. Again, with this keyboard, the switches are hot swappable, which is cool. Also included is some extra switches. So we should have two spare brown switches in case one goes bad. And those are, where are you? Those are right here. Then we get a red switch, a gray switch, yellow, and blue. So that's pretty cool. You get some spares, and then you get additional switches to kind of see if maybe you like them over the standard brown, which is very much a straight, like kind of linear feeling. The blue definitely has that click and like a little pause before activating, so you can kind of hear it. Where's the brown? Which is the brown? More straightforward. We have the silver switch. Interesting, very smooth. Yellow. Feels kind of similar to the silver. I'm just, when it's off camera, I'm moving it towards the mic. And then here's, I believe, red. Okay, so that's nice, you get those. And then you get the cable. That's one of the things I liked about this keyboard is the cable is detachable and it terminates into a Type-C. So this goes into the keyboard, this goes into your computer. So that's cool. Why I like, it's also braided, which is nice. Why I like detachable cable is for ease of cleaning. That way I can just unplug the keyboard, go grab it, go sit at a table or something, and then, you know, take all the keys off and clean all the dust and detritus that have collected over the months. All right, let's unsleeve this. It's a nice and tiny little keyboard. Wow, this is very sturdy. The housing itself is super sturdy. It is plastic. There are some little grip pads on it. So we have our serial number, mechanical gaming keyboard model name. We have our size, and I already wrote this down, but this says it is 293 millimeters by 102 millimeters by 5, we'll say 0.37 millimeters. There is no wrist rest, there is no elevation tabs, unfortunately, but you can see that it has a nice slope. Typing on it. At a weird angle, so that's nice. The keycaps feel solid too. There's no shaking, like the keys are in there, so that's cool. Let's go ahead and pull one of these off. One thing I couldn't find on the website is what kind of keycaps they were in terms of like, are they double shot, etc. Maybe I'm not, there we go. Okay, they do look like they use the standard kind of cross pattern that the Cherry MX switches use. So you could possibly easily, you know, just use keycaps of your choosing, any kind that you want. And here's how to, I've never removed a switch before, so this is interesting. No idea. Probably what instructions are for. So, should just be able to pull it straight up, I assume. Ooh, yeah. So it comes right out, a little bit of force. That's cool. So then, here's that. You can see the LED right there, and it just goes in. So if I had a bum key, I've got 2 spares. These are Gateron Brown switches. Crap. I have no idea which way this went, so let me pull off. You gotta pay attention to these things. Pull off another one. Okay, you can just look from the similarities here. So we have like a little metal thing, or I guess, yeah, so that's where the light would shine through. So just put it that way. Probably should be using a tool, but there you go, and there it is. So because this is a 60% keyboard, there are 60, I want to say 61 or 64 switches, 64 keys. So you're not going to have dedicated num pad, obviously, or dedicated area for your arrow keys or the, you know, the print screen, the home, page up, page down area. That's all going to be handled by using a function key. And then all the keys are clearly labeled, and it looks pretty nice. Like I said, this is sturdy. It's definitely nice. Oh, it looks like I already bent the, the keycap switch remover. You might want to invest in a better one. This one's pretty cheap looking. Yeah, the plastic there. But anyway, we have that. So again, like I was saying, you can control all the RGB via the keyboard or some downloadable software, which is cool. So there are drivers for this. You can see that the spacebar key says game note, which again probably denotes the model name as opposed to the number. So it's a rather simple presentation. You get the keyboard, you get the cable, you get some switches, you get your manual, and that's about it. Some of the other features that HAVIT has described this keyboard as having is it is waterproof, which is always nice, as most of you, if you're like me, and when you're working or gaming, you might have a drink nearby, accidents do happen, and you could spill on it. So having that waterproof feature, it would be great, because then if you spill, all you gotta do is dry it off and it should stay functioning. And it does have RGB that you can control via the keys themselves or through dedicated software. There doesn't seem to be on the bottom any kind of cable routing, but it's just a very simple presentation. I like that. And I wanted for the white one just because I've never had a white keyboard. One thing I probably would note, especially if you're a Cheeto eater, white keys definitely will get dirty or show the dirt and stuff a lot faster than a black keyboard. Because there is no included wrist rest, you'll definitely want to invest in that. The slope on it should be good if you, for those who would like that kind of elevation. That's just not there. But I think for a keyboard on the go, or if you have a very compact workspace, that it would be ideal. Let's do a demo on how to set up RGB. I don't think you can compare a black keyboard with a white keyboard. The lighting on the HAVIT keyboard is crisp, clear, and I really like it, but the white keys probably help reflect that light a lot more, whereas the black keys, it's still vibrant on the Corsair K70, but it's a bit muted because they're black, so they're absorbing some of that light. For typing experience, I like how the K70 sounds compared to the HAVIT. However, it's a nice typing experience. The keys are easy to push. You definitely don't feel like a secondary actuation. It is just straight through. You bottom out and it clicks. This keyboard has a boatload of functions too, so be careful if you accidentally hit one of the functions. There's layouts. Definitely keep the little guide handy. Don't lose it. So far, I've discovered there are 20, this is how you set the brightness, so down on the way. There are 20 brightness levels, up and down, and then when you top out, it's really neat. You get a little indicator that you're at the highest. For speeds, there are 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then again it bottoms out, or you can go super fast, again it bottoms out, 1, 2, 3, we'll stick to 3. How to change lighting modes, you can pause it with this key. Again, always have to hold function. That's really cool. I like that a lot. If you just want a static rainbow, that's neat. And then hit it again to have it play. You can do different modes. So you have 10 modes, it looks like, or 9, 1 through 5, and then 6 through 9. So you have type, and it leaves a little light on that fades eventually. It's all different colors. Go here, and each row will react. Again, different colors. So even if you hit the same row, it cycles. Then for this, so it comes out, different colors. Oops, another one. So this one, just kind of random, almost like rain. It's really cool. And another one. So I think that was okay. So we're back to where we were. And this one, static white. I haven't figured out how to change colors, and I couldn't see it on here, so hopefully I can figure that one out, but we'll keep going. So this is color shift as a whole keyboard, and there's no secondary effect, so you can't layer. So back to white, and just cycles through. Then we have the default rainbow. Okay, so this is like a ball, so it's rotating. This is up. So you have side rainbow, rotating rainbow, and up rainbow, and then solid color. And then it cycles, so it's cool. So it cycles, so you don't have to go back and forth. Now, there should be a way to change the whole color. And if you don't want any lighting at all, bam, it's gone. And so it's neat because you can tell what keys control lighting through this little logo here. And it looks like there's even, yeah, it shows you. There's little symbols within the sun. You have, again, speed, but then it has down arrow, up arrow. That one is a minus, and that's a plus. And then that's a pause. That's an X. and that's just a dot, and that's a hollow circle. Then there are other layouts that you can actually apply to this keyboard. So you have right here 4 little sub keys. So if you wanted to, you can do different layouts. That makes the keys actually do different things. There's little brief descriptions on the guide right here. So again, don't get rid of this. And there's even media keys. It's all controlled with the aid of the function key, which is crazy. So this little tiny keyboard can do a whole lot of things. Here are the media keys. So function, so S key, so that's previous. Oh, cool. So there's play, pause, previous, forward to track. Here's plus minus free volume. So there's all these little secondary icons on there. If you just take a moment, unlike me, to look and see what those do, it's neat. If you do the Windows lock, then it's red. So that's cool. So yeah, that stays red. So you know that, no Windows is gonna happen. This one is weird. I don't know. It has a little moon and stars. So if I click it, it just makes these cycle through and blink. I don't understand what that does. So that still lets things go. So I'm just gonna go here. So I believe the Q is like standard. And then if you do any of these other modes, these buttons do, so like right now I'm holding function. It's doing the shift function now. So I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. So it's something you would definitely have to get used to. Oh, and there's a trash key. I've never in my life seen a trash key on a keyboard, so that's kind of neat. So if you're in a folder, you got something selected, you just hit the trash key. It doesn't delete it, it'll just send it to the trash. So you might want to figure a way to disable that in case you fat finger it. That would be terrible, but at least it's just in the trash and not fully deleted. It's a pretty nifty keyboard. A caps key, so that becomes bright white. Again, I wish I could figure out a way to change the actual color, but I'm not figuring that one out. The keys feel real solid, so as far as removing them, let's go ahead and let's see here. See if they're interchangeable even. It'd be kind of cool. I like Corsair's better. I don't like this little wiry thing. Okay. So again, I mean, it's the same stem. Hopefully you can see these. There you go. This is the Corsair key, obviously. These might be double shot. I can't tell. I don't know. I'm not a keyboard expert guy, but let me see here. Yeah. Interesting. Definitely change them. So that's good. The light looks still pretty good too. So yeah, I think the lighting just might be better than the Corsair keyboard, to be honest. Again, this is 6 years old though, so take that with a grain. And then you can kind of see where the light shines through. It's definitely got a bluish tint to it, even in white. Hopefully I can figure out how to change the damn colors. But yeah, the next thing I want to show you is the whole download process for the software. So far you can see this is clearly plug and play, didn't have to do any drivers. The drivers, like the product says, are on this keyboard. But if you want to have that more granular control, you can go ahead and install software, and it might be easier as well. So yeah, this is a bluer light. So actually, you can tell here. So here's the caps lock. Hit it, that's white. Now that's white. This is much more of a cooler light, almost blue in cast, whereas this is straight white. I gotta just figure out how to change the colors, and then we can go from there. But clearly, the rainbow is really nice. The colors are definitely vibrant. I like this. This is nice. And again, typing, not too bad at all. Still think I like this. It might just be the rigidity of the housing. I mean, that so much can play into it. Like even just changing the keys. Here, let me rechange again, because like just being able to show you that. You can hear the sound maybe. So this is more muted. And then this one's more of a thud. So it comes down to the keycaps too. So luckily though, I mean, this is Cherry MX, which is with the Corsair. This is Opteron. So completely different switches, but the stems types are the same, so you could totally get your own favorite kind of keycaps and replace them if you don't like how these sound or whatever. Who knew that key sounds or keycaps would make such an impact on sound? Okay, so let's move on to the software side. For even more RGB key and macro control, you'll need to download HAVIT software. To do this, go to the HAVIT website or type KB500l into Google or other search engine search bar. Once you get to the website, hover over Support, click Downloads, click Download Center. This will open a new tab or window. Find your device, KB500l, and download. I use the browser's Find function to get to the download faster. You have the software installed. Now what? After launching the software, your keyboard should be detected and you're presented with an interface that looks like it should be straightforward, but is completely not. It's not user-friendly or intuitive at all. From my research at the site and on the product page, I couldn't find a support manual for the software either. This is a huge misstep by HAVIT. If you're a company offering a piece of companion software, you have to have some technical information on how to do things. You cannot expect end users to know how to navigate and use your software, especially when it appears this complex. As it stands, trying to figure out the keyboard software is like trying to understand stereo instructions.
This book reads like stereo instructions.
I tried my best and tinkered with the software and was able to figure out how to apply the many color profiles available. There are some static colors and there are many animated effects as well. Unfortunately, the animated RGB was not fluid at all. Instead, it appeared step-like and I could not figure out how to speed up or slow down the transitions to see if that would help remove the jitter or smooth the animation. Through the software, you can also reassign keys and create macros or even replace the preset lighting profiles with others. Mess up, you can fully restore the keyboard to its default settings. It seems everything is written directly to the keyboard, but again, it was a bit beyond me. So far, this is the biggest downside to the keyboard, and I hope HAVIT works on making the software much more user-friendly, as it really does let the end user have a lot of granular control over things. It's just not clear how to do it. Thankfully, this negative is on the software side of things, not on the keyboard itself. Of course, I'm sure with a lot of time, the software can be figured out, but
ain't nobody got time for that.
Let's talk price. When I selected the KB500l to be sent to me for review, HAVIT was selling it directly on their website for $72.99. I didn't think this was too bad considering a similarly spec'd Razer Black Widow Mini is selling for $25 more. Unfortunately, the KB500l is sold out on HAVIT's site, but I've seen it on third-party sites like eBay for anywhere from $20 to $40, which is a pretty good discount. So why did I ask HAVIT to send me the KB500l out of all the products that they offer? I use two keyboards, one from Corsair and another from Cooler Master, every day for work and personal use. So I thought it would be interesting to check out one by company I'm not very familiar with. I've also never used a 60% keyboard, so I thought this would be a fun way to experience that. I also love that it has a detachable USB Type-C cable. It's a great feature to see in a sub $75 keyboard. And finally, I've never used or seen a keyboard with hot swappable switches, so it's another feature I wanted to check out. My experience using the KB500l has been a good one. I used it to type the script for this video and had no problems. I also used it while playing some Elder Scrolls Online as well. The delay between pressing the key and seeing my character do the action was imperceptible. Having said that, swapping between my two bars is tied to my tilde key, which has to be activated on the KB500l by using function plus escape. This means I have to take my hand off the mouse to swap from one ability bar to another, and this is no good in a fast-paced game. As such, if you play a game that requires the F row or a key requiring the function key to activate it, you're going to want to remap those keys in-game to something more convenient. Ultimately, there are more things I like about this keyboard than I dislike. It's compact, it has a detachable and braided USB Type-C cable as I mentioned, the switches are mechanical and hot swappable, the typing experience is nice, the lighting is bright and the colors are definitely vibrant, there's decent onboard control for lighting, media, and more, and finally, it's affordable. On the flip side, here are some things I'd like to see improved or changed. Have the cable connection be centered and recessed to avoid accidentally unplugging or damaging it. Add cable routing channels on the bottom of the chassis. Work on the acoustics of the keys. The chunkiness when typing just sounds unpleasant. It's like hearing echoey thuds. Add additional functions to change the lighting colors without software. And last but definitely not least, revise the keyboard software so it's more user-friendly and intuitive. At the very least, add a manual that's written clearly for anyone who is not a computer programmer with some sample actions so we can better understand and learn how to use the software. I'm glad I got to tinker around with and use the HAVIT KB500l. It's sturdy and responsive. If I were to downsize permanently to a smaller keyboard, it would definitely take some time and getting used to it, but I do think it's a great choice for anyone with constrained desk space. And that's all I have to say about the KB500l from HAVIT. What do you think of this keyboard? If you own one or have any other HAVIT product, what has your experience been like? Shoot me a comment and let me know. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hit that like button if you found this video helpful or just liked what you saw, and feel free to share any questions or comments with me down below. You can show your support for the channel by clicking subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification icon so you don't miss out on any future content. And hey, while you're here, why don't you check out some of the other videos I've made. I'm Seth, and I'll see you next time in the middle of nowhere.